Welcome back to IDP Bets. My name is Johny the Greek. How's everybody doing? Happy week 13. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving yesterday and got some good bets in. I am joined by a very special guest this week. It's his second time doing the show. We're very glad to have him back. He is at KBelf, BELLF 54 on Twitter. Kyle Bellefeuil of Footballguys.com. IDP contributor, known degenerate, hole-in-one maker, and lover of potty humor. Kyle, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. That about sums it all up right there. No, man, I'm happy to be back and talk a little ball, talk a little bets, and see if we can make a few bucks here. So hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving, and I know I overate. I don't know about everybody else, but couple naps in between the games, and we made her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not bad games either. I mean, the night
No.
one, I mean, that was good for you. Night one
Good
was
for
good
me.
for you.
Yeah. More of a snooze fest for non-Packer fans or Miami fans, I suppose. But yeah, it's a hell of a nightcap.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, before we get into it, you guys already know, but these are not even suggestions. We're just discussing the bets we might be making personally. Set a limit and stick to it. For help with problem gambling, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Last week we went 6-1 overall because Amani Hooker was voided due to the flu. So 6-1, and don't want to curse him, but Mike Wohlert does remain perfect on sack props for the season. That's pretty
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. 5 for 5. That's pretty good.
Just a stud.
Yes, sir. But all right, let's start with Mr. Bellefeuil. What do you got for your first favorite IDP bet week 13?
All right, man. Bet one. Kaden Elliss over 8.5 tackles versus the LA Chargers. Minus 115 on DraftKings. Elliss has been balling lately with tackle stat lines of 10, 10, 13, 11, and 10 over his past 5 games. So it's just been beautiful stuff from Elliss lately as far as the tackle department goes. The Chargers are tied for 9th in tackles allowed to the linebacker position at 17.5 on the beautiful Macri tackles allowed chart. Shout out Macri. Malik Harrison had a day against them last week with 12 tackles, and Jack Gibbons racked up 15 in week 10 before he unfortunately got hurt. Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt both fell one short of this line with 8 each in week 11, so they were right there, but yeah, we know how that goes. So there's been some linebackers around and hitting this number lately. Elliss has been the steady presence, every down presence for the Atlanta defense, and while Troy Anderson looks likely to play this week, he's more of a thorn in the side of Nate Landman. We're looking for Elliss to keep the good times rolling and give us another double-digit tackle week against a Chargers team who likes to run the rock. And if not double digits, we just need a simple 9 tackles to get us there. So let's get it.
Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. Kaden Elliss has been super hot lately. I was using Landman and Anderson earlier this season, but Elliss has been the guy for a while now. So I'm definitely with you on that. And then you're right. The Chargers, even with Herbert feeling better and airing it out more, still run like crazy. That's their offensive identity. So I think this sets up well for them. I am a big fan. And thank you, Ben, for watching the show. And yes, it's cold in here, hence the hat.
Love it.
Beautiful. All right, good stuff, buddy. I think that's a solid one. And we always kind of like those linebacker bets anyway, because I mean they're right in the middle of the action almost every play. It's always a good bet to begin with.
Oh, for sure.
Beautiful. Alrighty. So my first favorite one for week 13, I'm going to go Mike Jackson, not the singer, the cornerback, over 4.5 combined tackles at plus 105. Pretty good price there. So he has only crossed this line in 4 games this season, but he's in a great position to do so this week with Tampa Bay in town. So they allow 14.9 cornerback tackles per game. That's the 4th best across the entire league. Beyond that, Tampa Bay is within the top third of the league for wide receiver targets. They're the 6th best passing attack in the league. This sets up good opposing cornerback production against Tampa Bay. And with the return of Mike Evans last week, we saw more of a traditional Tampa Bay offense. So they were targeting, Bucky Irving and Rashad White and Cade Otton a ton while Evans and Godwin's were both out. But in Evans' first game back, 18 of Mayfield's 30 total targets went to wide receivers, the majority. And for reference, prior to that, like the week before or the game before, it was 18 of his 29 targets went to tight end or running back. So they're starting to get back to their traditional offense where they target the wide receiver a ton, and that's going to help get Mike Jackson involved. I'd be just as happy with this if J.C. Horn had this number, so keep an eye out for that too if you like him better. But I think this sets up well against the Tampa Bay offense that's getting back to what it likes to do, which is target their wide receiver, and that'll set up our corners well. What do you think about that one?
I like it, man. It's plus money, and you're the cornerback guru. So if you like it, I like it. So, and as you, like you said, the with Evans being back, it's more in line with what they like to do in Tampa with Baker. So, targeting them wideouts, I dig it, man. Especially at plus money, and if the CB guru's in, I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. It is cornerback, but on paper, this is the stuff we look for, right? Like, if we're streaming corner, we want to see all the stuff we just talked about. So it's as good as it gets for a setup.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy. What do you got for number 2?
Number 2, Zaire Franklin over 8.5 tackles versus New England, minus 145 on DraftKings. Franklin just continues to be a tackle machine again this season, leading the league with 123 combined tackles on the year so far. He's averaging, that gives him an average of 10.25 tackles per game, and he has hit at least 9 tackles in 10 of his 12 games played this year. So he just continues to do Zaire Franklin stuff there. Franklin draws the Patriots in Week 13, who are 7th in tackles allowed to linebackers on the Macri chart. Over the past 3 weeks, Jordan Brooks has had 9. Christian Roseboom with 11 and TJ Edwards with 12 have all hit or exceeded this number of 8.5. Franklin just continues to be a tackle monster, solid matchup, and he's hit it in all but 2 games, as I said. We just need Drake May to keep this Patriots offense in it and sustain some drives, and he seems capable to do that lately. Outside of that Miami game, I guess, was a little bit of a blow, but yeah, Franklin just keeps getting it done, and matchup seems fine for him to continue to do his thing.
Yeah, I'm with you on this, buddy. And I think that, I mean, Indy is good. Are they good enough to really blow away New England to the point exactly. where they're in a negative game script and they're not going to run anymore? I don't think so.
I agree.
New England, yeah, New England loves to run to begin with. Indy has, I think it's the 6th worst rush defense in the league, so they're going to get run on regardless. And like you said, they got a rookie quarterback, so they want to take some pressure off him. So, a lot of good factors. Yep. Good stuff. Yeah, definitely like that. A lot of good factors there. All righty. So for number 2 for me, I'm going to take the Cashman, Blake Cashman, over 7.5 combined tackles at minus 110. He has only done this in 2 of 8 games this season, but he's in a perfect setup this week against Arizona. So we'll get to that in a second. But not only did Ivan Pace recently get sent to IR, which should decrease the competition for tackles, but Arizona is the 2nd best team in the league for allowing linebacker tackles at 19.2 per game. They love to run. They're averaging 27 rushing attempts per game, plus the occasional Kyler Murray scrambles that we love. They're the 6th best rush attack in the league, and it's basically their entire offensive identity. Just run the crap out of the ball, occasional, shots and play action, etc. Pace will be in a great situation to soak up those run-stopping tackles. And with just a field goal spread, Vegas thinks we're getting a close game, which means Arizona will get to keep their favorite game script going, continue to run the ball, not be in a negative game script. Plus, that's a lower number, I feel like. So just 7.5, decent price at minus 110. So lots of good factors there. What do you think about that one, Cashman, over 7.5?
No, I like it. I like that call for sure. That was a game I was targeting as well for all the reasons you named. Arizona is very generous to linebackers, game flow. And like you said, Ivan Pace is out, so Cashman's there to soak him up. And we've seen him hit this number. I think he hit it the last time we were on here. I think we were all over his over back then, and he cashed it for us. So yeah, I like this line. That's right about where I was hoping the line. I was hoping for 7.5 and not 8.5. So that 7.5 I like that. So, great call.
Yeah, we've had lots of luck against Arizona with inside linebackers recently too.
Yep. Ride the hot hand, right?
That's it, buddy. Yeah, that's what I was doing with Jonnu Smith last night. I never thought I'd be saying that sentence, but here we are.
Yep, here we are at week 13, right?
That's it. Yep. All right, what do you got for number 3?
Number 3 is a unfun underplay. To switch gears, I guess. Yeah. Quincy Williams under 7.5 tackles versus Seattle, minus 130 on ESPN Bet. For starters, Williams has had 7 or fewer tackles in 7 of his 11 games this season, despite playing just about every snap for the Jets defense. I think he's only missed a handful all season, if I'm not mistaken. To make matters worse, the Jets play Seattle in week 13, who are dead last entering the week in tackles allowed on the Macri chart to the linebacker position at just 12.2 tackles per game. The low tackle output allowed by Seattle paired with Quincy Williams running with teammate Jamie and Sherwood, who has been a far more efficient tackler so far this year. Sherwood has a 15.3% tackle rate, where Williams has just a 10.9% tackle rate. So if they're fighting for 12 tackles, I think I would side with Sherwood getting the majority of them. So all that stacked up makes me believe Williams comes under that 7.5 number for would be the 8th time this season. So matchup isn't great. He hasn't been hitting over this number very often this year. And he's paired with a guy who's been gobbling up most of the tackles as far as Jets linebackers go this year. So
Yeah.
Underplays aren't fun, but this one, just seems like it.
No, yeah, that's a great setup. And anyone that has Kenneth Walker shares already knows what you just said there. This Seattle rush attack is not what we thought it was going to be this year.
Yes.
But they are the number 2 overall pass attack right now.
Right.
And they're up there for wide receiver targets too. So I think if DK plays, this is even better, right? If Metcalf plays, because he's going to.
It's looking that way.
It's looking that way, right? He's going to need those targets, and this is not a bad Jets team either. These guys could still win this game. Go up big, make Seattle try and pass their way back into it. That's totally possible at home in a cold environment where Seattle just flew across the country. Totally possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man.
Nice. All right, yeah, like that. I've got an under later as well, so I'll join you in the misery.
All right, we like misery around these parts.
Yeah. I actually saw someone with a sweatshirt yesterday that said "Life is too short to bet the under."
I like that.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, so number 3 over here. I'm gonna go back to the linebacker. Well, we're gonna take Kyzir White over 7.5 combined at minus 115. He's done this in 5 of 11 games this season. He looks pretty set up to do so again this week with Minnesota in town. They allow 18.5 linebacker tackles per game. That's 3rd best across the league. We know Darnold is a little beat up. The Vikings have been relying on Aaron Jones more recently. He had 22 attempts for 106 rush yards and a touchdown last week. He's averaging 19 carries per game since week 8. And Minnesota as a team averages just under 30 rush attempts per game. So the opportunities are going to be there for Kyzir, that's for sure. I'm just hoping that he's in the right place at the right time to take advantage of them. I mean, this depends on, how the game goes a little bit too, but I think it's only a field goal spread. So Vegas thinks it'll be close. I think, most of that lines up and it's a lower number. What do you think about Kyzir White this week?
Yeah, I like him at that 7.5 number as well. This Arizona Minnesota game was one I had circled when we were waiting for the lines to come out. That was one of the, like you said, that Minnesota and Arizona are both generous to linebackers on the season, and it's going to be a tight game, and the opportunities should be there. So, I like that line for White too. So,
nice. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we went very fast through that. Lucky thing we got a couple bonus bets. What do you we're getting too efficient. What do you got for your first bonus bet there, Mr. Kyle?
All right, man. Absolutely. We're getting way too good at this, I guess, right? Looking for a little plus money here with the bonus bet. So I took Laiatu Latu over a half sack versus New England, plus 150 on ESPN Bet. Latu has sacks in back-to-back games now in week 11 and week 12. he also has seen a snap share of at least 60% in each of those 2 games. It was 60% and 69%, I believe. So a little bit more ideal there in that 60% range as far as volume. Latu is coming off his season best pass rush grade of 90.8 in week 12 against a tough Detroit offensive line. In a game, he also generated five pressures to go along with his sack. So you just love to see him do well in a tougher matchup as well. The rookie's coming along. Latu draws a poor New England offensive line in week 13, who are 31st in pass blocking grade as a team at 49.4 per PFF. And Drake May has been sacked 21 times over his 8 games played, which is 7 starts. So that's 3 sacks a start if we're just looking at the 7 starts. Latu's trending up, playing better. He has an exploitable matchup, and I think he has a real shot to make it a 3-game sack streak here against that poor Patriots offensive line.
Yeah, definitely, man. We've been targeting this Patriots offensive line all season for these sack props, and it's worked out pretty well so far.
yeah. They've been the matchup to exploit, whether we're betting or if it's just straight up IDP, because it's been a pretty lackluster group that's providing us some points to our defensive ends and defensive tackles. So
yeah, definitely. Yep, good call there. I like that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. That's a good call. All right, so for mine, I'm gonna go under here. I'm gonna take Quinyon Mitchell under 3.5 combined tackles at plus 105. So he's been under this line 7 times already this season. And opposing passing attacks avoid this guy like the plague. He's got a 73.4 PFF grade, which is green if you play all 22, but it's not blue, right? It's not perfect. It's not great. So, I don't get it, but this is true. He barely gets any tackles each week. He's barely targeted each week. He's the 45th most targeted cornerback in the league. That is not a lot of targets, right? Yeah, he's usually not involved much in the first place. Beyond that, they get a Baltimore team that is ranked the 7th worst across the entire league for wide receiver targets. So we've got a corner who everyone avoids to begin with. He's up against a team that barely targets their wide receivers. And he's been under this number 7 times already this season. I think that lines up pretty good, but what do you think on that one? Quinyon under 3.5.
No, I like it, man. I think you absolutely nailed it with the reasonings there. Teams don't like to target them. Baltimore doesn't target their wide receivers much, and it just seems like he's a dude you want to target unders on, because there's no guarantee he sees a lot of action because people stay away from him. So, I like this. I like this call for sure.
Nice. Good stuff, buddy. Yeah, I think we got some good ones out there. Yeah, before we get out of here, what are you working? I mean, anyone that saw the first episode with you knows this, but just to reiterate, what do you got that you're working on this season? Anything you're doing in the off season for Footballguys? Where can we find your work, etc.?
Yeah, you can find all my stuff over at footballguys.com. In season here, I've been doing the IDP waiver wire report tool on the website, and also the IDP rest of season projections. So that's been a lot of fun to keep up on the injury apocalypse and whatnot that's been going on this year. So it keeps you tuned in, I guess. Doing corner, safeties, edges, defensive tackles, linebackers, seeing who's in, who's out, and it's that's been fun. But you know what? I like a challenge, so what the hell? So, but no, it's been fun. And this offseason, once the regular season gets done, I usually sit back and enjoy playoff football and just bet and enjoy. And then the offseason, I'll be hitting on these new incoming IDP prospects. On the defensive side of the ball once I get some time and dive into the tape and go from there. Get ready for those rookie drafts.
Yep. I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. We actually do have a listener question here, and I think I can tweak it to make it betting related. So if there's a line on Matt Milano this week, are you taking it? I am not. I am waiting a week. And I've, not non-betting, got him in several places. I'm waiting a week. What are you doing with him this week?
I'm waiting a week as well. I'm definitely I'm happy to see Milano healthy and stuff. The dude's had a tough run with injuries here lately. I'm not not touching that situation until we get a little bit of clarity on what's going on between him and Dorian Williams and what the usage looks like and how healthy Milano is. So yeah, I'm with you.
Right. Maybe an under if they put an under number up for him. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like a significant number, 7.5, something like that. I
Oh,
would
yeah.
definitely take under. Same thing with like Marshawn Lattimore this week. Like he's
Yep.
supposed to be, that's a crowded secondary to begin with. If there's a number for him, I'd go under on that. So that's maybe the way to play those guys that are coming back in, maybe getting eased back in.
Yep. No, absolutely, man. I totally dig that.
Nice. Good stuff. All right. Well, that's pretty much all we got. Quick one. Not our first rodeo over here, either of us. So we got that out for you quick. Thank you everyone for listening and watching. And we'll catch you. Kyle, thank you for coming on.
Oh, you bet. I always appreciate you inviting me on, buddy. It's always a good time.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll get you back. Hopefully, real playoffs or fantasy playoffs, and we'll be back same time, same place next week. Thank you guys for listening, and have a good one. Take care.